Oh, my beautiful Niger, my beautiful Niger. You know supposed to kill Abuja one by one. You know supposed to kill Enugu one by one. You know supposed to kill Calabar one by one. You know supposed to send nobody to a grave. Imagine saying are you where them do that 24 shots before you look back. Imagine saying are you where the 60 men stepping out your streets where them begin to the Pugat. So tell me why did you become like this, my G? I want to know the truth so I can apologize for the things I did. I used to know peace, love.
We are live at the Golden Hall of Chelsea Hotel in Central District, FCT, Abuja, on this day, the 25th of May, 2023, to participate in the grand finale of the ongoing Peaceforfree lecture series, themed Sustainable Peace Beyond Election. Peaceforfree is a civil society group committed to the promotion of unconditional peace and national cohesion for development in Nigeria. My name is Clement Christiana Amuna Chimso, reporting for DMI TV. What are your expectations from today's lecture?
Honestly speaking, peace is what surpasses all understanding, irrespective of where it's coming from. From today's lecture, I'm expecting them to deliver the lecture in an accurate way where it will move across all regions to understand that we need to be in peace, irrespective of our language, our tribe, or ethnicity, or where we are coming from. Peace is one word. It doesn't know if your color is black or white.
Nigerians are tired. We are all coming out for peace. So what I'm expecting is just a normal peace talk, and not just the talk alone, but we should try and see how we can act in peace. Live in peace, stay in peace, and do everything in peace. Nigeria is a peaceful state.
This country, Nigeria, is our own. We do not have any other country apart from this country called Nigeria. So peace for me is the best. The election has come and gone. A winner has emerged according to INEC or according to the outcome of the election. So the advice should be, like it's ongoing now, those who lost the election has gone to court, and court is addressing it. We must give court the opportunity to do their job. Handing over will not affect court decisions. It will not. So all we need to do is to keep calm, maintain peace, and wait for the outcome of the court.
Of course, the takeaway is peace. The takeaway for us is peace. When there is peace, there is development. When there is peace, there is joy. When there is peace, there is productivity. When there is peace, there won't be insecurity that has bedeviled this nation.
What we actually need in this Nigeria is peace. And if we go on, I think it's something that everybody will key into it, and we will like, when there is peace in Nigeria, then we'll not have an issue, we'll not have any problem to complain any longer, because everybody will set the pace and will work towards that peaceful coexistence in the country.
The Peaceforfree lecture series is a nationwide highly interactive peace building effort, which have already held in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. It is climaxing today here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Our advocacy outreach is intended to engage citizens, particularly the youths, in a free discussion to educate them on the tenets of the democratic practices and to attempt to clearly explain perceived uncertainties in our polity that could lead to violent disruption and truncation of our fragile democracy beyond the 2023 general elections. We believe it's our responsibility to promote tolerance, peace and unity amongst Nigerians to ensure the ultimate consummation and maturity of the democratic process. There is no doubt that this year's elections so far have generated a lot of public attention, particularly from Nigerian youths who are remarkably increasing their political participation in our collective struggle for good governance, unlike other times in the past. Election is an important part of democracy, which in itself is a process involving human and technological elements, not absolutely immune from errors. Like all processes, democracy needs to be allowed to grow, to develop to maturity, for most of the population to enjoy the promises and gains thereof. Permit me, finally, to remind us all that peace, unity and tolerance and dialogue remain the critical ingredients for a healthy democracy, without which no progress can be realized in our great country.
On the eve of this election, there were so many uncertainties in our polity. We had issues of insecurity to contend with. And I think we have never had it the way we had it in the build-up to the 2023 elections. We had the insurgency in the Northeast. We had, or rather we have, the banditry in the Northwest. We have, farmers' herders crisis in the North Central. And then we have the agitations in the Southeast and in the Southwest. And of course, the Niger Delta issues are very much familiar to all of us. They are still there and prevalent. In this convoluted environment, this environment of uncertainty, Nigerian youths defied all of this. And you came out in your numbers. And what you exhibited was rare courage, uncommon courage, that people perhaps underestimated. Perhaps they felt that young people were only good enough to be used as political talks. But this time around, you said no. You want active roles. You want to choose those who will represent you, not to form a line behind them. This was the choice that you made. For these reasons that you participated in the elections to be achieved. If we don't have peace in our country, there will be chaos, there will be rancor everywhere. So it will be impossible for that dream of a better Nigeria that you had, that dream that propelled you, that made you to go out in your numbers to cast your vote, that dream may not come to pass. It is only when those whom you have elected are given an opportunity in an atmosphere of peace that that dream can be realized. So, we are saying this peace that we are preaching is peace that without it, it will be impossible for us to achieve anything as a nation and as a people. And people who are committed to peace can sacrifice all, not minding what is at stake, provided we have a better society. Your future is more important than any other thing, and that future can best be guaranteed under a democratic environment. So let young people not make themselves easily available for people to want to manipulate, because those who are manipulating your future. They are not doing it because they love you. They are doing it because they want benefits from it. It is when you recognize this. It is when you recognize this, then you would have recognized the importance of peace in our society and in our communities. And then, given the peace that we have said, I want to get to my audience at this point. I want you to tell me, having listened to the background that I have laid, I want you to tell me, what are those things, what are those tendencies that you think can break the peace?
One of the things that I've observed over time that can cause violence or distortions in my environment is injustice.
Thank you very much.
Tribalism and nepotism. lack of cooperation and disunity,
lack of self-orientation, unemployment.
It's just selfish desire that causes lack of peace. You get
Selfishness.
selfishness.
Okay. Let me add that all that you have said are very correct, and indeed they are capable of breaking the peace in our communities and in our country. But I would like to quickly add that there is a new dimension to, conflict. One thing that we have observed recently is the prevalence of fake news and hate speech on social media. The advent of the social media has provided easy platform for people to spread rumors, people to spread fake news, people to spread hate speech. And by the time the information you are sharing is not what you are not even sure of, and then it is received and people begin to think that this actually is what has happened, and then people may take up arms against each other. It is just one trigger that can cause that. So we must recognize that fake news is a danger in our society. I want to now ask you once again, you have identified the causes of breakdown of peace in our society. How can we build sustainable peace that is beyond the 2023 elections that have come and gone?
I believe tolerance could be one of it.
Tolerance. By the time we tolerate each other,
we must avoid greed and selfishness.
Okay.
I think if we can avoid rumor mongering in our midst, it will help a lot.
Let's avoid rumors.
We should avoid hate speech, and if we want to criticize, we criticize constructively.
I think we should see ourselves as equal. Don't see yourself as a superior to others.
I think there should be equal rights and justice.
Thank you. Equal rights and justice. Thank you all, my distinguished participants. I would like to say that one other thing that can engender peace in our society is what we sum to say social justice. Social justice would mean that there is a government in place that is responsible, a government that attends to our needs, a government that ensures that social security of its citizens, is taken into consideration in all that it does. Once we are able to have social justice, where no Nigerian will be treated differently from the other, where opportunities are available to all, where there is inclusivity, where everybody is seen and recognized on the basis of your Nigerianness. When we begin to do that, then we are on the path of building and sustaining peace beyond elections.
So is this, in the face of obvious injustice, can we build a peace that can actually be called true peace?
While injustice may prevail, it does not mean conflict should result. You get the point. Injustices may remain, but there are mechanisms in society that we have to resolve all conflicts. And I'm glad that my friend from the Human Rights Commission is here. I'm aware that they intervene where issues of human rights, are concerned, where you have disagreements, where people's human rights are tampered with. You don't take up arms to defend yourself. There is a government agency that is responsible for resolution of such disagreements to ensure that you have justice. So once you have disagreements, once you have conflicts, submit yourself to institutions of state that are in place for conflict resolution so that there can be justice.
How do we, the youth, prove our point and select our leaders without being dramatized and being forced otherwise?
We are making sustained progress in our electoral reforms. Progressively, you could see that from 2011 to 2015, 2019 to 2023, we are making sustained progress towards having elections that are not only free, fair, but also credible. That is why today you could see a political party that appeared not to be known in Nigeria 6 months to election came onto the stage and made national huge impressions. If our electoral processes were not undergoing reforms, perhaps we will not have that to talk about today.
Lack of youth empowerment, it brings to the breakdown of peace. So we want to know, what measures are you putting through to make sure that the rate of that reduces?
Unemployment globally is a phenomenon that governments are being confronted with. This administration has done what they call the social investment program. The social investment program has 3 tiers. What they call conditional cash transfer, what they call school feeding program, and then the Empower. These 3 key programs of the government have ensured that people who are vulnerable are taken care of. And then the Empower, like the name suggests, recruits young people, take them to agencies, they are paid a stipend. Some have been found worthy by the agencies they have been attached to and have gained employment. Some have learned certain skills in the course of that and have been gainfully employed. It is our hope that sustainable efforts can be made along these lines and perhaps improved upon what we have, so that our youth can be taken off the streets and be gainfully employed to contribute their quota to national development. Thank you once again for the opportunity to respond to you.
Today was a beautiful one because I believe that with the crowd we had today on discussion on peace, people are going to have a different frame of mind when it comes to reactions to certain things we read on social media. I expect a turnaround from the youths. One thing we all should understand is that when we have peace and harmony, we open doors for investors to come in. We are talking about poverty alleviation. How are we going to do it? Okay, with this speech on peace and this beautiful platform, people will get to understand that we should embrace peace in order for foreign investors to come in and for us to have employment for our children and our youths. That's the only way forward. Let's have negotiation, let's discuss about it. Let's not fight about it. Let's talk about it and let those that we discuss with take it to the government.
Yeah, the handover on May 29th is constitutional. It is not as a result of anybody's interest. It's constitutional. And in power, vacuum can never be tolerated. Yes, as we continue to believe in our democracy, continue to believe in the rule of law, and continue to believe in our judiciary and judicial processes, even after handover, if the judicial processes decide to pronounce otherwise, what I would say categorically is that let the right thing to be done, and I will support it. So the handover is not supposed to truncate or stop anything. Rather, the handover will only facilitate a process that is constitutional. Then, even while there is a sitting president or whatever, and the processes that brought him in is not right, the laws are there to take care of that.
Well, I think it's very exciting. I had looked forward to having an enthusiastic youth participation, and that I have seen much more than I had expected. I have seen an unprecedented number of people who are very eager to be part of the Peaceforfree lecture series. And my takeaways from the lecture is that today, I'm sure that we have made over 1,000 peace ambassadors who will go back home and preach the message of peace in their homes and in their communities. And I'm sure that we are going to engender peace in our country. The message of peace at this time is very critical to our nation building effort. No society, no country grows without peace. And for us, we believe that if we want to develop, if we want to grow, we must have peace. It is peace that will bring in investors who will bring their money in and create wealth, create jobs to take care of our teeming young people. And I think it is the interest of the young people to have peace so that they can have more opportunities being made available to them.
You're not supposed to kill Abuja one by one. You're not supposed to kill Enugu one by one. You're not supposed to kill Calabar one by one. You're not supposed to send nobody to a grave.